Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to recycle Dollar Tree candles. So this is what we're going to make, or something similar. Isn't that awesome? So these are made out of the Dollar Tree candles, and after they've already been used, and we just need some fabric and some rope. This is nautical rope I got from the Dollar Tree. We're going to Mod Podge this on, and then I had a little flower. I thought that was cute. These are 2 bunches of flowers that go in the top, so that's nice. You don't even have to put anything in the third one in the middle. But the whole goal is to just use these recycled candles, since we have the containers, and see what we can make out of them. So we're going to make a vase. And so these are what the candles look like, except there's no candle in here. So you may have some of these left around if you've made any other candles, or you've just used them. But a lot of people melt the wax and make different candles out of them. That would be interesting. But today we're just using the container. It had a label on it. So as I gather my stuff together, I'll tell you how to take care of that. So this candle was used. So it had a little bit of wax still left in it, and we need to get that out. So I heated the oven at 300, and I put a bunch of paper towels on a cooking sheet. I also put some foil or parchment underneath it, but it's whatever you want to do to protect your pan. But then I folded up about 3 or 4 paper towels, and I turned these upside down. We need 3 of them. So I turned them upside down, stuck it in the oven for like 15 minutes. So the wax melted and soaked into the paper towels. And I just got an oven mitt and picked it up, and the label peels right off. It's much easier to take off when the glass is hot. And it leaves a little bit of sticky residue, but that's not a problem because we're covering up with fabric anyway. And it actually is a little helpful. So that's awesome. So I've just got a little plastic mat that I'm going to be using to protect my workspace. And the first thing we need is some fabric. So the fabric pieces to measure out this is 8 inches. And then 7 1/4 inches to go around. So you'll need 3, and you'll need something coordinating. So I'm using 2 of one color and 1 of the other because it looks good. And it can be any theme, summer, winter, fall, Christmas. But I am using a placemat that I got at Dollar Tree. And then I have the pretty fabric on one side and then a solid coordinating on the other. But if you have fabric at home, no need to go do that. They have different ones each season, Dollar Tree does, that you might be able to find. But if you already have fabric, remember, you just need 3 pieces, and it's 8 inches by 7 1/4. So I'm just showing you how I'm doing this out of a placemat. So kind of like a Dollar Tree craft. So I'm just cutting the seams off here. And then I've got 2 big pieces of fabric. So I will tell you, this fabric is polyester. And so it's got pros and cons, right? Polyester is good and challenging. So this is great for a placemat, right? Because it's repelling. It repels water. It's almost like it's got a plastic sheen to it or something on top of it. So that's great for repelling water, but it's a little challenging to Mod Podge. Definitely doable, as you can see. I already did it. But if you have cotton at home, I'm thinking that might go a little better. Just a thought. All right, so I just cut it, and I'm not bothering to, well, it doesn't matter. If I separate it completely, I'll have 2 pieces. That's right. I'm not going to do all 3 of these today because that'll take up a lot of time on our video. But so I'm just cutting off the sides. And I've got two pieces of fabric that match, go together. It's very nice. So I'm just going to measure off a piece. I'm going to do a flower piece this morning. So we'll put the solid over here. And I just got a ruler and I'm going to measure off 8 by 4.5. 7 1/4. 4.5. Okay, here's my 8. So I'm just measuring. Gonna cut off. Now then, this, I didn't use like a rotary cutter or anything. That would have been more precise. But I'm gonna trim it up and you'll see that when I finish anyway. So that's my 8, and so where's my 7 1/4? I'll just cut myself out a square. 7 1/4. So I'm just saying it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna fix it on the other end. So let me make my line here so I can see where I'm cutting. And then I don't have exactly a square, but pretty close. All right. Now then, it's time for some Mod Podge. Any kind of glue is fine. So I just happen to have Mod Podge, so that's what I'm going to use. But you can use whatever glue you happen to have at home. So here is my glass. I need to make sure I've got this facing the right way. Okay, so remember we had a label in here? You didn't see it, but you trust me. We had a label on it, and I cooked it, got all the wax out, took the label off. It's got a little sticky residue, right? Actually, I like that because it sticks really well to my fabric. So I'm going to put some Mod Podge where that glue is, and that's going to be my starting point. So the squares right here, I know you can't really see it, but that's where I'm going to start gluing it. So I have done this several ways. This way, I like this way. So the adhesive that's stuck on the glass is helping me stick to the fabric and not letting it shift on me. So I like this way the best. But there is another way I did it, and I painted the glue on the piece of fabric and then rolled this up. And that was messy. That was messy. I'm not huge on mess, but it was very effective. So it worked great. It was just too messy for my taste. So it's whatever you want to do. Then I'm just rolling this on. And again, we're going to, see? We're going to trim it up anyway after it's finished. So I need a little more Mod Podge under here. And we've got to let this dry. So this 7 1/4 to go around helps me overlap just a smidge. And then you put Mod Podge on the outside. And that will help seal it, which we're putting fake flowers in here anyway, but it'll help seal my work. And also help it stick to the glass. So we just put Mod Podge on here, and then it's got to dry. We put Mod Podge all over the outside. So remember, if you're using cotton, it's going to really saturate. there's a little bit of repelling action happening with this polyester. But it works. It works great. So we're just going to finish this up real quick. Just like this. Make sure my seam is sealed. And then we have to set it aside to dry. So that's where I'm at for the moment. Let me just put this off over here. We'll let that dry. So I can have another one of these. All right. Yeah. Alrighty. So we set it aside and let it dry, and this is what we end up having. Ta-da! I did 3 already. Nice and stiff, nice and stuck on there. Looks great. So now comes the trimming part. Remember I said that it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to trim anyway. So I just take my fabric scissors and trim around. And oh, this one's not so bad. This one's pretty close. And I'm going to trim the bottom. So if you want to measure exact, you might want to check my measuring. But it's pretty close. Just like that. So here's one, and it's going to be on the outside. Here's another one. It's going to be in the middle. Oh, this one's really good. Let's check the bottom. So see how everything just stuck really good? So you just put a healthy bit of Mod Podge or glue on the inside and on the outside, and it feels really good. It's nice and solid. Trim this off. So then you see how we had all of these attached together. That's because we're trying to make like one unit, right? We're using 3 things, but we're making the vase like one piece. So we're going to glue it together, and we're going to add that nautical rope. Give it a little bit of a nautical theme and feel to it. Whoops, I got some of my trimming off in there. Clean up my mess so I don't get a bigger mess by accident. All right. So clear off my workspace a little bit. All right, so these guys are going to fit together sideways like this. Isn't that pretty? So the first thing we need to do is to put some rope around. I want to put like 3 or 4 strands in the middle on this solid piece. So this is what we need the glue gun for. Handy dandy glue gun. So you just need to remember to put your seams either towards the back, like I had them in together like this. So, but what I might do is my blue one, I think I might put, actually it doesn't really matter. They're going to go this way so we can't see them. So I'm going to have this to my side, the seam, and I'm just going to glue on the nautical rope. I am constantly burning myself on this glue. All right, 1, 2, what did I do, 4 times? I think I'm going to do 3 times. Let's see, this is going to be my flower. Nope, I'm going to do 4 times. So see how easy that is? We just cut the end off. I'll make sure I'm not using my fabric scissors. That'll tear my scissors up. Come on now. There we go. Make sure it's straight. And glue it on there. Nice. So that is nice and secured. And then these guys are going to go right beside it. So the next step is to attach them together. So I'm just going to put some glue on my rope where I want them to go together and attach at the seam and just hold it there. And the same thing on this side, where I want it to go together and attach at the seam. We're shaping up already, aren't we? Now we just need some rope to do the top and the bottom. So it's just not quite finished. So that's why I wanted to put some rope up here. It just will help it look a little more finished. So I like how this first one, I went twice around. I like how that looks. So on this piece, I am actually going to put glue on each corner of my vase to make sure that I don't ever get any slack in this rope. So just adding a touch of glue, holding it there a second until it starts sticking for me. Just like this. Now, if I'm actually doing this, I'm doing this to show you, but I would probably spin the whole piece around each time so I can see better. But so far, so good. Shaping up, isn't it? Looking good. All right, and one more here. Then I'm not going to do that every time around. I just want to make sure the top is nice and secure. Then I'm just going to spin this around. Cut off the end and glue it on the back. Let go. There we go. So if you feel like the rope's not secure enough, you can always just go back and tack it on in every section. See? Looking good. Now we just do the bottom. So I need more rope. So I happen to get this at Walmart. Dollar Tree too. Comes in an 8-foot piece. So if we do that, we need 2 to do this craft. So I'll start at the back like I did before. This one I might lay down because that's at the bottom. I can't quite. Oh, I take this up. Can't quite see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start at the bottom, very bottom, and work my way around. Exactly how I did the top one. All right. Now that I've got some, this is nicely stuck together because of the top rope. This bottom one's actually a little easier. I can do it more in a row. And if you've noticed, I am going back and tacking in my second row of nautical rope on top. The bottom is the one that I didn't have to tack if I didn't want to because of gravity. The one on the bottom is glued, so then the next loop, the next row of rope wouldn't necessarily need to be glued. I got myself mixed up. All right. But since I'm laying it down, I'm going to glue this thing. This is shaping up. So this is great for artificial flowers. You could put real flowers in here. There's no drainage. You know, it's just like a regular vase. So you could put real flowers in if you wanted to. Like I said on this other one, my flowers were so full that I actually only put 2 bunches of flowers in. I use the outside vases and not the inside vase, and it looks great. The beauty of a glue gun, it dries so fast. So nice. Cut off the extra. And we're almost finished. All right, so see, this craft didn't take super long, did it? Tack this to finish. And ta-da! Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to put this little flower on. So I just took this off of a little bunch I had. Cut the back off. I'm going to attach that right here, laying off of the orangey colors I have in here. So I just put it straight on the flower. So I don't know exactly where it's going to fit in the rope. And I definitely know I went in between the middle. So, press it on for a second. And we're finished. That's it. So, out of recycled candles from the Dollar Tree. Who'd have thunk? Now you can make your own. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had fun. And we'll see you next time.